video behind you, and how can we allow this to happen? I mean, the landlords have got to be responsible for allowing their tenant to accumulate that much trash around their house, in their house, or whatever else. Code enforcement, they can go by and give them a citation. But as I ride around this town and I see these piles of trash, whatever, it's gotta be a lot of responsibility on the part of the landlord that they will allow their tenant to accumulate that kind of mess and not say something to them about it. Excuse me. I mean, our mayor has endeavored to make this town cleaner and neater and more attractive for potential businesses and people to move here. But we can't do it without the help of the landlord. That's a landlord problem.
That tenant right there actually called the cops on me, and I was told to leave or be arrested.
But anyway, that's terrible. How can any landlord allow that to happen on their property without getting involved? It's amazing to me, and it's been that way for a long time. I used to sit in that chair, and I used to sit in his chair. So I've been in all these jobs, and it keeps going on and on and on. And we just gotta quit passing the buck and say we gotta postpone this or that or the other. You gotta sit down and say, we're gonna enforce it. We're gonna enforce it. And if we can't get it enforced, then I don't know, we're just gonna die the way we are.
We don't want that.
I don't know. So, I respect the job that all of you are doing, having been on this for a long time. But anyway, I sat back there and I watched it. Some of them outdated, obviously, but you can drive around town today and still see some of the same stuff. So please, come up with something that's enforceable to get this town cleaned up. Don't pass the buck any longer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is still Diane Sled.
Next.
I just watched these pictures, that picture after picture. The majority of right there, look at that one, y'all. The majority of the things, look at that one. The majority of the things up there is junk and trash. I am so hopeful that when we get that trash service that the city like that's doing for us, that it's going to take care of 90% of the problems.
Thank you.
I don't think it will, I'll be honest with you, my opinion of that, because I can show you 2 or 3 blocks from me that the lady owns 3 lots. And I know the code guys knows what I'm talking about, the building's burned out there, it's piled full of, you take every one of them pictures there and probably still couldn't accumulate enough junk that's in that backyard. And the landlord has to see that. I mean, I think a lot of this falls on the landlord. I think that if they got property and they see it that way, to me, they're responsible for something what to do too, because I know the code guys write these things up, but it's just a process to go through. And I think in the long run, it'll help the landlords too, because you're gonna hold the tenants much more accountable. And
Yes.
I mean, just look around town, anybody. I mean, if you think this town don't need something serious cleaning up, I mean, you're just wrong, because it's every neighborhood. I mean, there's very few neighborhoods you can drive down that there's just not 2 or 3 houses that makes the whole neighborhood look bad. So. And that's when somebody said something about these pictures being old. I take the pictures for you tomorrow and show you that ain't old. I mean, that's old, yeah, that's the picture they accumulate, but this is now too. Them pictures are now all over town.
Mr. Moses?
Yes.
I thought I heard you say a while ago if you were gonna move from one residence to the other, you had to have an application to move there.
Yes.
But if your house that you're living in now was not up to snuff, you wasn't gonna be able to move.
If there was a current code violation there.
Well, how you gonna know that if you don't look at it before they move?
Brian drives around all day long.
No, I ain't talking about on the outside.
Yes, yes, on
I'm
the
talking about
inside.
on the inside.
That's something that can be worked out. That's something that can be changed I don't even know if it has to be changed in the ordinance, it can be put in the checklist. May have to hire somebody else, you do an exit inspection.
Well, I'm sure you're not gonna be able to have time to do all
No,
that stuff, it's just
no.
something we gotta work out.
No, this would be a whole other position.
Yeah,
It'd be another
yeah.
employee.
Sir, may I give my name's Peggy McMillan, with the 2012 Ely. And to cover that, I think what would be simple, if a one of my attendants is wanting to move out, then when they go to apply for another occupancy, then they contact me to see what the house looks like.
That would work.
That's
Yeah, that
simple.
would work, yeah. That's what I said, the landlord can file a complaint.
Right, even before they move, before they get, but when they go to see like gas and water, they know that they're renting from me, then they can call me and say, what is the house like? And,
Well, no, they won't be doing it. CLGW wouldn't be doing that.
No, well.
Inspector, city inspector.
But they could say, what does your house look like? Did they leave it in good condition or not? Not whether they had a violation or not, they didn't mow their yard on time or something, but did they tear your house up? And as far as getting rid of somebody with trash, mine don't look like that on the outside, but I've had a couple to look like on the inside, and you can't get them out. You lose $5,000 trying to get them out, and then go in and pay $5,000 more to refix your house. I've only had that a few times because I have a contract, a good contract, and I go in and inspect my houses every 3 months. And if it's not up to par and following their contract, then I tell them, either get it up to par or you're gonna have to move. Now, me getting them out, there's a different story, but it puts fear of God in them.
And
also too, you will have people that lose their mobility too. I mean, what do we do on that?
They don't have anyone to move to, then what?
They won't have an application.
Well, they won't be able to move in town, but they can't do that.
Well, go.
Say one more thing to Ms. McMillan. Ms. McMillan commented on, about them calling you, and that's another thing about this whole thing that we're looking at is we know who owns the house. A lot of times Victor and them have a hard time figuring out who owns the houses. With this, by having a business license, you would have to list what property you own, so that would make that an easy process for them. So that's a good point that you made. Thank you.
I wasn't gonna say anything to meet y'all, but I've heard a lot
You
of
please take your.
Frank Crafton live on First Street. You were up here, I guess a month or so ago talking about it, but I've been on both sides of the bullet, guys, the landlord and the other part. But when I first come to Kennett, been a few years ago, I seen that stuff started to pile up like we're seeing right now. It hadn't been changed much. But these guys haven't got much power to change much. They can't get anything done. But landlords on y'all's behalf, I went to neighborhoods and bought empty houses before, decent neighborhoods, and the neighbor would actually come out and shake my hand because I was buying that house to redo it and fix it up and sell it to an individual. Now that's something, saying something bad about some different folks. If you want to buy a property, take care of it. If you ain't going to take care of it, stay out of the real estate business. When the house gets tore up, it's y'all's problem. Inside the house, it's y'all's problem. You own it, claim it. You go buy a house, if I own the house, they're piling trash in my front yard, I'm gonna get up there and have them fix it up. If you don't maintain what you got, you're gonna lose it. It's like piling up all over town right now. And it's, I don't know how much percentage it is the landlord problem, but that is the problem. But it's just it's your property. Respect it, take care of it. When I was in the rental business, I wouldn't have a property that I wouldn't put my family in that I'd rent. If you have that respect for your property and yourself, it'll clean up a lot. But when you let your renters piles crap all over this city, in the apartments, in the houses, everywhere else, it's your fault if you own that property. That's all I say.
All right, we're gonna do a call to vote. Everybody has spoke their piece, council? Okay.
First reading. An ordinance providing for the licensing and inspection of rental housing units, setting out the process relating to appeals, setting up the process for notices to vacate relating to residential licensing in the city of Kennett.
We have a motion?
Motion.
We have a second?
Second.
We have discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
I'm gonna abstain.
Yeah, we have one second. Right.
Second reading, an ordinance providing for the licensing and inspection of rental housing units, setting up the process relating to appeals, setting up the process for notices to vacate relating to residential rental licensing in the city of Kennett.
Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Abstain.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Passes 9-0. One abstain. Okay. Thank you all very much. We will be we'll put it out in mass media of some sort of a meeting planned for the final checklist. It'll be soon though. We need to make this sooner than later. Respect for everyone. Thank you all very much. All right, we're gonna move into Mo-Crew. Did you handle that earlier?
It's already, yeah, we're already done now.
Thank you all. I know it's very late. You're more welcome to leave if you want to hear about the bids. All right, item E, Ms. Phelps. Thank you.
If I could get your attention,
Yes, sir.
we have a 2011 Dodge that we put out for bids, but the bids was open. Gene Lack was the winner of that bid. And so, I'd like to make a motion that we
What was the
sell.
bid for? How much was the bid?
You have that bid?
4,000,
Will you read all of them, please?
okay. Gene Lack bid $4,155. Emergency remarketing was $1,578.18. Caden Wessel, bid $3,000. Lisa Carter, $2,500. And Richard E. Prince Jr., $3,600.
So I'd like to make a motion that we sell that vehicle to Mr. Lack.
I'll second it.
Discussion? All in favor of selling the 2011 Dodge for, how much is $4,155? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
I'd like to have that money to go into the equipment reserve.
Well, you've already passed it. We'll look for that.
Mr. Mayor, it's been a long night.
Yes,
That's fair enough.
yes, but by the way, let's go ahead and make a real quick vote on that, so we'll get that officially in minutes. Is that a motion?
Yes.
Second,
Yeah.
discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
And we've done that before, but we did discuss trying the Gov deal, the Gov, the fitness deal. We heard today from Semi Gas and Water that they've been doing that, and they're more than satisfied with some bids they're getting on that. So I would like to make a motion that in the near future, at least next 6 months or something like that, anything we have for sale, let's go with deals.gov website.
I think you're doing the vehicle on that, right?
I was wondering, but she ain't coming.
No, we do have a motion on the floor. We got a motion. Do we have a second for that motion? We have a second. Let's go.
So, you all had asked for me to research that gov deal or whatever with Semi Gas and Water. I have not done that, and the reason why is I knew this topic of discussion was coming up that we spent the last hour in. And I also knew that if that passed, we were gonna have to hire somebody, and that's, whoever that person is, gonna have to have a vehicle to drive. I've spoken with the mayor and a couple other councilmen, and we could probably, in my opinion, we just repurpose that vehicle rather than more than another one, since it would be in county use. That is the only reason that I have not researched that gov deal as it is right now.
And what you were asking, Joe and I talked about that earlier today. We have a vehicle that is going to come up, and we want to put that vehicle up
on that auction for various reasons. So, the next one that we have come up, we'd like to put that on that auction.
Still motion second.
And we're still in discussion. But I didn't know if there's any other discussion. Not, the motion on the floor is to, instead of investigate, or look into.
No, I think anything we sell should go
through there.
go through that process until we find that it's not working.
Okay, everybody understand the motion? All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
So can people still bid on it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, anybody can bid on
We
it.
can bid on it.
It's worldwide at that point. I think the truck, he was talking about local,
Trucks,
locally purchased.
they have bids, from people here in Kennett, even on the gov deal.
It's a 12% buyer's fee,
Yes.
so there's no charge to the
There's no
seller.
charge.
There's no way for us to lose on it, really.
Okay, we approve the bid, so now public comment. Anyone would like to speak to the council?
I think we've had enough.
I'm gonna close that one real quick, so. Anything else for the council, new business we need to be brought up for next meeting? Look over your budget, look over your budget, please. And we'll approve it at that last meeting in June, on the 18th. All right, gentlemen and ladies, thank you all. I'm gonna adjourn.
Second.